Well, good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. Today is October the 6th. I'm going to do your spiritual principle a day in a meditation. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our Hood Recovery Services. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you. I hope that you will actually send me an email. That would be amazing. Let's go ahead and get into the meditation for October 6th. I've increased the size. Some of you wrote to me and indicated that you needed it a little bit larger, so hopefully you're able to see that. Okay, let's go ahead and discuss it. The safe environment of NA gave me the chance to face my own fear. The security and solidarity that I get from the program gave me room to breathe. That's coming from the basic text, coming home, sandwiched. We aren't all strangers to experiences of solidarity before getting clean. Frequently, however, our safety was tied to keeping our mouths shut, a code of conduct that valued secrecy over good judgment. We'd have your back, all right, as long as you kept us safe and our behavior under wraps. We were constantly looking over our shoulders, barely breathing for fear of getting caught. Coming to NA is, on some level, a rejection of our previous sense of security and admission that we need help. Many of us are holding our breath when we enter the room for our first NA meeting. We fear we'll see people we had use with, people we'd wrong, people who might out us as addicts outside the meeting. Immediately, we see the appearance of solidarity in meetings, but can we trust it? We are encouraged to share about our past, what's going on with us today, and what we envision a new life to be. But when we are used to solidarity having so many variables, how do we know it's stable and secure now? In time, we breathe a sigh of relief, realizing we've made it home. A renewed consideration of solidarity may be to view NA as a group of survivors collectively fighting our disease, bonded by our recovery. We're told that we don't have to go through anything alone. And as we witness that very thing happening among members, eventually we allow ourselves to become a part of it. We strive to overcome our fears of not fitting in, of being vulnerable and intimate with others, of being honest and open and still. Sometimes we're successful in these attempts, other times not. But make no mistake, we are in this together, striving to make NA a safer place for every addict seeking a place to belong. As I continue to face my own fears, now in solidarity with my fellow NA members, I will make every effort to give others the same chance to breathe that I was given. You know, this is a beautiful meditation for today because I think what has happened as a result of I don't want to blame everything on the pandemic. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that there's all of these levels of distrust that have entered into our lives that weren't there before pre-pandemic. For instance, if you go to the grocery store and you go to park your vehicle, for some reason, there are still cars that are parking every other space. And I don't remember seeing so many cars parking every other space before the pandemic. Everyone was rushing to get the space closest to the door. And there's another thing that I'm noticing in the parking lot of these grocery stores. People are not taking their carts back. It's almost like too much effort to walk to wherever the cart corral is. People aren't taking their carts back. And people that are going into the stores, they may not be going masked, but for the most part, they're not even using the handy wipes to wipe their carts clean. Everything seems to be a lot more self-centered about themselves, about what is good for them and comfortable for them. People are a lot less considerate, I believe, as a result of the pandemic. Now it's about my family, my circumstance, what I want and what I need. And there just seemed like before the pandemic, there was a greater feeling of community, even though there were instances where things weren't right. There were people that were more willing to acknowledge you. Today, no one wants to have a conversation, even standing in the same line. And oh my goodness, forbid that you have to be on the elevator with someone. They have those little circles, one person over here in that corner, one in this corner, and one over here, and only one by the elevator button, right? So it's like everything is becoming separated and divided. And so what we find is that even mentally, as we start going to in-person, face-to-face meetings, people, generally speaking, don't want to be that close to one another. But let's dial it back a little bit, because this meditation, spiritual principle of day meditation, this was developed during the pandemic. They started writing this. And so a lot of the stories that are going into this particular meditation, it was completed during the pandemic. The drafts were being approved at different levels. I mean, they were being taken to the group and people were giving input, and they were soliciting to have people share their stories, these little interjections of quotes that we see. One member says such and such. This was all taking place during the pandemic. And so there's a lot of relevant information in here. And the main thing that I perceive from this particular meditation today is that inclusiveness, that willingness to allow other people to experience Narcotics Anonymous just like you did. It was a safe place for you to come. It was a place where you could come and you could share or not share. You might have been on paper or not, but it was a place where you could come and you were able to take your time warming up to the fellowship, warming up to the program. You actually got a sponsor when you wanted to get a sponsor, and you did the steps with your sponsor when you wanted to do the steps with your sponsor. Or maybe it was the other way. Your sponsor forced you to do the steps when they wanted you. But the point is that when you were ready, you took the steps that you needed to further solidify your foundation of recovery. And the security, the sense of security, oh, that plays in my head over and over and over again. I have heard some amazing shares in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. I have heard people share things that they've had to do time for, that typically people would shun you for the rest of your life if they knew that you had done these things that you went to prison for. And in Narcotics Anonymous, I mean, we can share what we want to share. Not everything is for the rooms, but I've heard many people share their deepest, darkest secrets in an effort to let the newcomer know there's nothing too dark, there's nothing too bad that we can't recover from. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but I do. because I've experienced hearing these various shares. I've shared some of my ugliness of my active addiction and the life that I lived. The code of the street is not the code of the rooms. The code of the street was totally different. You knew for a fact out there you could not trust anyone. You had to tell lie upon lie upon lie to cover up each and every step, you know. But in here, you get an opportunity to shake loose from some of that and let all of that go and learn that this is a safe and secure place. And there is a spirit of solidarity. There are some people that are very, very protective. I don't know if you know this or not, but they're very protective of the atmosphere of recovery. They're very protective of the traditions and making sure that they're not violated, running around trying to be NA police, but they are trying to make sure that the same opportunity that you and I had when we first got here, that the newcomer gets that same breathing room, that same space, that same atmosphere of recovery, that same spirit of inclusion. And we need that. We need that today more than ever. And we need for you to come on board and carry that same energy, right? And it's the best way to ensure that you will be able to keep what was freely given to you by freely giving it away. Today, that's my challenge. October 6th, that's my challenge for you, is to carry the message in a way where the newcomer will see that this is a safe place to be, that it is a secure place to be, and that there is solidarity here. We want to make sure that when they come, they think about the similarities and not so much the differences, and they feel welcome. Can you do that today? I hope so. My name is MightyStream, and I've enjoyed talking to you, and I will, God willing, be talking to you tomorrow.